Welcome to Booking the Fan, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I purposely said Booking the Wrestler on my Raw review to surprise Morgan and Sarah Hyde. I decided I'm going to do a Booking the Wrestler on you, Morgan. Of course, I'm going to do one on Sarah. I will. I'm going to do another one, and I actually am considering having you both work together in that next Booking the Wrestler. But I want to build you up first, because if I am going to give you the opportunity to work with your fiance in wrestling, I have to give something that'll make some sense. So this is how it's going to go. I'm going to use the name Morgan, because at this moment, it's the best name to use. So you'll be only known as Morgan in NXT, and this is the NXT that I booked as a separate promotion that's not connected to the WWE at all. Very rarely do they send anybody to the WWE. That means Daniel Bryan, in my booking, is the owner of NXT. And also at the time is Triple H. He's the owner of WWE, Raw, SmackDown, and whatever new territory promotion that he creates. Now, when it comes down to it, for you, Morgan, you will just be known as Morgan. I could say Morgan Le Fay, but I'm doing Morgan as a straight, clear name. And while you're in NXT, you will be booked as Morgan. You will come out in pitch black clothing. Nothing shiny, nothing that would give a high level of personality. Your personality is stone, kind of like Stone Cold. Not like the actual Steve Austin character, but essentially you would be kind of like a character that I booked, which was Naomi the Dark Knight. She was focused, she was controlled, but had a little bit of crazy in her. In your case, you will be the male equivalent of her. You will be the type, and I really hope you don't mind me doing this. I know you want Baron Corbin type of character, but if I'm going to do a lone wolf, I got to do it my way. And I hope it's okay with you. Sorry to break the momentum of this. But anyway, when it comes down to it, you will come to the ring wearing pitch black. You will wear kind of like what The Undertaker wore in the last match that he had this year. Just pitch black, but no hat. Just a hood. Clean. And you come to the ring. Your garb would pretty much be like Baron Corbin's, but it wouldn't have any symbols on it. It wouldn't have nothing on it. You would just be wearing pitch freaking black. Well, in a sense, that's what The Undertaker wears. So, let me put it in this way. You will have a look like The Undertaker. You will kind of have the attitude of Undertaker, but you will be very cocky. You will have a bit of an attitude. But in general, you would show almost no emotion until someone pissed you off. And usually it would be the ref. Not because you couldn't pin your opponent, but because the ref was getting in your way from hurting your opponent. So you would pound your opponent into submission, but then the ref would end the match. And you would be so angry and so pissed, you literally ripped up the ring. You pulled up the apron, you broke the turnbuckles, you literally would be angry. And every match you did in NXT, you would do the same thing. You break up the ring. Now I know you're wondering where the cockiness comes in. This is where it would come in. You would have promo segments, but your promos would be very straightforward, and you would say clearly, I am the best. You're nothing but fools. You cannot, sorry for the dog noise, unfortunately there's a dog barking in my apartment building, but as you would see me, I am the best. But he wouldn't be doing regular interviews. Every time he did an interview, it was someone else's. So he literally would shove someone out of the way or knock them out, and he would take their interview. So you literally would be taking over people's interviews and saying they are your own. And the interviewers would all say, wait, hey, well, I was just interviewing. He said, no, you're interviewing me. That person was just holding my spot. Know the difference. And essentially, you would smack once in a while one of the people who would do the interview. Smack them in the face, grab their hand, pull it in and say, hey, pay attention to me. And this is how you would work in NXT. You would stay there for about 2 years, building your craft and making sure you know who you are. Then Daniel Bryan would send you over to Triple H, and you would go on SmackDown, which would be their territorial promotion, which is the best way to do it. So when it came down to it, when it came to SmackDown, you did the exact same thing. You didn't take nothing from nobody. You would literally not just shove people aside, you would basically knock them out, beat them down, and make sure the camera wouldn't run off, because the cameraman would get scared and run from you, and you would grab the cameraman, pull him back, and say, "Where the hell are you running? I am Morgan. I am the true mangler of wrestling. I mangle people." And that would be the beginning of you being called Morgan the Mangler. I know that's kind of an old one, because there's been a lot of wrestlers before you that have been called the Mangler. But in this case, because of how well you've been built and how you be acting, this would be the best thing for you. Now, thinking about what a championship title would be on SmackDown, never really thought about it. But essentially, the best title for SmackDown would be the European Championship. Now, I could say the Cruiserweight Championship. I could easily say the Hardcore Championship. But I'm doing the European Championship because SmackDown has become a territorial promotion. You could say the SmackDown World Heavyweight Championship, but it just sounds played out. I want them to be considered the European World Championship. I think that sounds pretty good. So you would win that, and you would hold it for at least 1 year before you move on to the main roster and go to Raw, where you basically would go through most of, well, you would go through John Cena. And the reason you would go through John Cena first is because he just came back. In this case, right now, at this time, he'll be coming back on Memorial Day. He just came back from injury. So I'm booking him as someone who just came back from injury, and you put him back on the shelf. You literally put John Cena back on the shelf, and you whipped his ass badly. This is how you would be booked. Extremely strong. Your size, and I didn't say anything about this in the beginning of the booking the fan. I will be using Baron Corbin's frame for this. He's about 6'8", near 300, I think 270 pounds to 300 pounds. He's not a small guy. So you would have his body type. A very big, tall guy that will rip you in half. And you rip down John Cena. You rip down Batista. He came back after being gone for 4 years. He is the animal, and you ripped his ass to shreds. The person that you would beat next, and I believe would be the best person, and it's not a wrestler, at least not anymore, would be a Daniel Bryan. You see Daniel Bryan, you come out to the ring, and this is after about 4 years of working through NXT, through SmackDown, and then going on to Raw. You haven't gotten the title yet, but essentially speaking, he comes back for a visit. You see him, and you clearly say to him, "Get out of my ring." He says, "No, I'm not finished yet," and you knock his head off. And then you wrap him up in the ring, excuse me, you wrap him up in the ring apron. You rip the apron off the ring, surrounding the ring, and you wrap his ass up like he's a burrito. You literally show everyone that you are a mangler. You don't play around. So eventually you will be called not just Morgan or Morgan the Mangler. You will call the Mangler. Someone that will destroy anybody in his path. And I believe I'm going to hold it there. Because I'm not going to give you a title now. I'm going to leave that for when I do the video for Sarah and you. Because that would make the best sense. Because I want you both to feel like you deserve something together. So I hope you enjoyed this Booking the Fan. Please give me a comment below. And please, anybody who has any ideas for the next Booking the Fans, or Booking the Wrestler for that matter, if you think someone I should watch that is a YouTuber or someone yourself, drop me a line on my comments. Tell me your attitude, if it's similar to a wrestler, or you would like me to book someone that is a wrestler in your name or whatever name you're considering, or I may consider, and I'll probably do it. Give me an idea. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace!